Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I want to start off with Brad and Maxine because I'm going to be honest, this was probably the dumbest part of this episode. Those two are literally having a pissing contest with each other, sniping back and forth, talking about who's a better friend to Brad. And Maxie, at one point, and I don't know if this is still true, but she barely let Britt spending time with James. But yet you want to sit there and talk about how you're a better friend and because you're family, this, that, and the third. I'm like, Maxie, are you kidding me? And I didn't even understand the point of them just going back and forth about who's gonna who's gonna plan the best party for Britt. I'm like, 12? Like, what are y'all doing? You literally are grown ass adults. One that has 3 kids. You're not acting that much better. So this whole thing was just unnecessary. And it got to a point where even Britt came in and Britt was like, yo, what's going on? Just find a way to make it work. Like, just work together for my sake. I really didn't get the animosity between those two. It seemed pretty stupid. But in the end, they both agreed to work with each other. So the whole sniping at each other was just entirely pointless. Speaking of pointless, you remember when Sam used to actually give value to the show? She used to actually be important. I went back and I watched like old clips, right, of previews from like 2004, 2005, when Sam was like an important character. The whole Franco storyline and everything like that, Sonny and everything. And now she's just there to be there. And it's just like I get it, boo. You're just coming in for a paycheck. But like, can't they give you something fun to do? Make you a relevant character again? Really? Hat Daddy, Curtis, and Laura got on my damn nerves. Okay? They got literally on my nerves. Curtis in his comments talking about, oh, you need to sit there and stay in your lane. Nah, bro, you need to sit there and stay in your lane. That's what you need to do. Telling Trina, oh, I don't think it's wise to sit there and spend time with Spencer, given everything that he did. Really? Really, bro? Because you do realize, because even Hat Daddy was annoying me. Even Hat Daddy was annoying me with his comments about Spencer. And Sam, which was completely, but mostly useless except for one part. Okay, I give her one part. When she started defending Spencer, talking about the dude went to jail to give her an alibi. He did the right thing, and he didn't have to do that. He's like, yeah, well, you did the right thing one time. I'm like, okay, yeah, Daddy, whatever. Whatever. I should tell you the truth, your character has been a huge disappointment since we found out the real reason of why you left your kids all those years ago because you got arrested and you felt it was better to sit there and stay away. But what called him back and what was a sign was the fact that Curtis opened up a nightclub. I guess if we never did that, then we wouldn't see you. Is that it? Yeah, that's exactly his relevance on the show. And Laura, because they both saw Spencer and Trina talking because, they want to sit there and make themselves debate. And Laura's like, oh, be careful what you're doing with that young woman because, everything that you did before. Laura, he didn't ask you for your opinion. He didn't, I get you. He didn't ask you for your opinion. Okay, he really didn't ask you for your opinion. So why are you sitting there telling him who to see and who not to see? It's just beyond me. And yeah, I understand that people are going to sit there and say, that's his grandmother. I don't care. I don't care. Stay in your lane. If you want to sit there and talk to Trina, and Trina's allowing him to sit there and talk to him, let him be. Don't you got a city to run? the city that we barely see that you run, but you have time to sit there and start telling Spencer, ew, you shouldn't sit there and talk to. But no, stop, bro. Just stop. Um, that was. Oof. Cody actually seemed pretty useless in this episode. He really did. All he sat there and did was talk to Mac about, Mac was there giving him compliments. Even at this point, bro, you don't have the jewelry anymore. Why don't you just tell the truth? You don't have the jewelry. You're not getting the girl. So why sit there and have these bonding sections with Mac talking about, Mac and Smithy trying to give him advice and, give him some props, and, Cole's like, no, I didn't really do much. Um, Britt did everything, and I'm like, why are you doing this to this man for? Why even sit there and call him? Why even sit there and call? I don't. It's just so dumb at this point. It really is. Oh, bonding sessions for like no reason. Just telling us truth already. What do you have to lose now? um, Terry kept asking Britt what's going on because Austin was there and he wanted a fancy new equipment, and Britt was like, "Go for it," and Terry was like, What's going on?" Like the whole time, Terry noticed something that was off about Britt. Maxie and Brad knew something was off about her. Got this whole episode. The way she was acting, very sentimental, not really sitting there worrying about the budget and stuff like that. She was acting off. Um, and of course, Terry tried to ask, Austin what was going on, because in the beginning of that whole conversation, Austin was like, "Do you want to sit there and tell her, or should I?" Why? And I sat there and I thought about that for a good minute. I'm like, why are you going to sit there and tell Terry about her diagnosis? I mean, granted, you're not her doctor, but don't you have a reflex for not sitting there telling the truth, or not sitting there telling people about their private information? I don't understand why Robert and um, Scorpio Mac isn't there agreeing to do some stuff for Heather, as far as Heather, because Heather was like, "Listen, if you want to sit there and find this whole killer, I'll sit there and help you out. I'll talk to Ryan. I'll be Esme's new nanny and whatever. Like, I'll work them. And, if you can let me go to the country club that Ryan is in, as opposed to Arkham. I know they call it Darkham. Come on, let's just call it Arkham, okay? Let's just make it a lot easier on myself. And, they're entertaining the idea. And, Robert was like, well, if Ryan and Esme are so cool, why would he sit there and turn her in? And I'm like, that's a legitimate question. Why should we sit there and help you get what you want, knowing that Ryan wouldn't sit there and turn over Esme if they're so buddy and they bonded and everything like that? Oh, you just leave that to me. Why could we entertain this idea for it? Didn't they already have a plan, or is that just out the window now with Ava? Because Ava was supposed to sit there and gift Brian with her presence if Ryan would sit there and help them out. And I thought that deal was going on for a while. So what changed? Now the cop that was sitting there babysitting Heather got called away, and he left his phone. When Heather was sitting there, by the table. Heather saw that picture of Trina and Spencer. She was not happy. Um, I almost forgot her name for a minute. Portia was sitting there talking to Heather for a little bit, and then was talking to Curtis, and Curtis was like, "Oh, well, Trina has too many friends. like Spencer. And again, Curtis, when he was not there talking to Trina, and Trina was like boundaries, like you don't dictate who I sit there and spend time with. But you have no problem sitting there making a beeline to her mother to sit there and practically be like, oh, I got some news. Do you know that Trina and Spencer are talking to each other? Like, anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. Now, I will sit there and say this. It was better than Friday's episode. I don't think they should bother to do Christmas specials anymore unless it's going to have some sort of story incorporated into it. Because that episode was terrible. It was a waste of time. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I think anyone that actually wrote that episode should have been fired. They literally should have been fired. They just should have been fired. If they're going to sit there and do stuff like that, just play a flashback. Just play an old episode. Do something other than paying these people to. You know what? I'm done with that. So with that being said, I'm going to go. If I miss anything, I'm going to be sitting there doing a live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So we'll sit there and chop it up then about anything that I might have missed or something you want to sit there and just kind of talk about. We'll sit there and do it around that time. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.